I know this review isn't going to get a lot of attention. It isn't going to get a lot of views. A 1980 Western nobody's ever heard of by an author nobody knows is bound to go pretty unnoticed. But I had a different reason to do this. I wanted to do this review not because it was an extraordinary book or because it was June on the Range, but because when I was doing pre-read research, something struck a chord with me. I went to Goodreads to look this book up, and this is what I found. 1 5-star rating, no reviews, no picture, wrong page count, and most disheartening, they couldn't even be bothered to fill out his full name. When I'm done with this, I'm hoping to go to Goodreads librarians and see if I can fix some of this. The lack of info and care made me want to go deeper and do a little research, see if I could find some information. All I found was an obituary. Byron Philip Highfill Sr. passed away on September 27, 2010, at 78 years old in Round Rock, Texas, with his family by his side. Firstborn son of Alton and Miranda, on August 23, 1938. He dedicated this book to his father, Alton. After high school, Byron joined the Marines and spent 2 years as a pitcher for the Marine Corps baseball team. He married Kim Giordana, had 3 kids, and spent 40 years in El Paso, Texas, before retiring at the end of his life to Marble Falls, Texas. It sounds like he had a good life and that he was well loved. And isn't that really the most important thing in life? But I can't help feel a little sad because this man poured some of his love and passion into being a writer, into his art, into the child of his mind. And all he has to show for it is an incomplete Goodreads page. I just wanted to show him a little love and attention. So, Mexican Gunhawks is about Escadon, a half Mexican, half Irish warrior, and his 2 best friends, a Mexican named Joselito and an Apache by the name of Two Wolves. Escadon has decided he's fed up with fighting in the Mexican Revolutionary War and wants to take his friends north, buy a ranch, hang up his guns, and live the good life. So he fights his way out of Mexico with his haul of gold and his 2 best friends and heads north where he finds someone willing to sell him a ranch at a good price. The reason he gets it at a good price is because he has a motivated seller. He's leaving the valley before he gets forced out. There's an evil rancher by the name of Hardiman who's trying to take over the valley and victimizing all the smaller ranches in the area. So Escadon pays the money, gets his supplies, and heads up to New Mexico to his new ranch. Escadon and his crew have a reputation of being pretty much badasses, but on the good side of the scales. And as he goes, some people are aware of who he is. His name has preceded him. Well, as Escadon sets up in the valley, almost immediately Hardiman becomes a thorn in our hero's asses. And of course, violence ensues. Escadon takes out 2 of Hardiman's men, rightfully so, and then proceeds to blow up his dam, his illegal dam, which is preventing water from getting down into the valley to any of the other ranchers. Of course, along the way, Escadon meets a beautiful rancher's daughter and falls in love with her. Violence escalates until we get a final showdown. and a happy ending, but with an interesting final chapter that would have set up a really good sequel story. It's a fairly standard Western plot, fairly short and a bit sparse on the details. It seems to just be telling you what happened without a lot of elaboration or color. The prose is a bit stilted, and we get a lot of tropey Indian-style talk from Two Wolves, like, me make fire, and Two Wolves see tracks, leaving out verbs, etc. You know what I'm talking about. And I thought the end battle was actually over way too quick. I would have happily spent a whole nother chapter reading about the final confrontation, as by then I was actually pretty invested in the story. It's not anything you haven't seen done before, and it's not great, but it is a fun, quick, easy read. And if you're interested in Westerns, you've seen it before, but that doesn't make it bad. If you happen to see this, maybe pick it up, give it a little love, add it to your collection. I mean, the cover is pretty cool, and that makes it a little more interesting alone. This was put out by Zebra Books in 1980, and I'm going to put a link in Goodreads for this review, and I'd appreciate it if you go give it a thumbs up or a comment, not for my benefit, but because I'd like to see Mr. Highfill get a little love and attention. I basically just finished this and jumped this review ahead of another I was already working on because it struck a chord with me. I felt sad that this man put love and effort into writing this book, and it's very close to being forgotten and completely unknown. And anybody out there who's trying to be a creator, a writer, an artist would understand the fear and what it's like to worry about putting all that effort into something only to have no one care. I'm sure you can empathize with this. And all any of us really want is to know that when we go, we left a mark, made an impression, that we're going to be remembered.